so many things. There are so many things that can put us in contact with people in the neighborhood and can make us truly, truly relevant to the needs and to the spiritual needs of our congregation. We have defined a mission not only to fulfill the spiritual and also the physical needs of all our people. So we have been in ministry for over 120 years. We are beginning our 121 years. But something happened during the 20th, during 1920, and in the recent years, is that we unexpectedly were hit by something that the world never expected, by a virus of all things, not by war, not by missiles or social upheaval, but by a virus, an uncontrollable virus that changed the whole world, changed the economy of the world, changed people's lives and people's lifestyles, changed the politics in the world, and changed churches all across the world, changed the way that we live our lives, and it's still, even though we are in the aftermath of COVID, it's still behind us. We are not completely feeling the same. And all the world and all the churches, including our own church, the United Methodist Church, has been greatly impacted by the virus. And many people, I would say over at least 50% of church membership disappear, basically from one day to the other. It took some churches by surprise. I don't think, but it took more than surprise. It took us all by surprise, but it took many churches unprepared for a new way of being church. Fortunately, it did not take Epworth unprepared, because as I came here, the first thing I saw, it was all these TVs. So somehow God was working with you, because you made the decision to buy all those TVs and to have them connected. So it did not took us unprepared, because as soon as we came back together, we began to streamline and to put services on YouTube, on Facebook. I remember the very first months of my ministry here, I would sit in my office and it was all recording sent out to church people. So we were prepared for day one by our technology. So, but it's still, the pandemic still have left something for us, is that we are not anymore the church that we used to be. A church with a lot of attendance, an average of 100, 125, sometimes more people on a Sunday worship, all these choirs singing, and all these lay leaders actively engaged in the life of the church. Well, right now, we have lost a good amount of active, present membership that gathers here in person. Not only that, we have lost a lot of leadership potential that could continue working with us. And Elaine is witness that our lay servants, hard to find them. We are even struggling to find worship leaders. And so many things, many ministries have not been able to be activated again. We don't have children's school. We don't have Sunday school. We don't have the choirs that we have. So many things are missing, and maybe they will not come back in the same way. But I'm here to tell you what I see, which is a wonderful story, which is that comparing, and not to make us feel falsely better or to demean others, still until this day in the Metropolitan District and in the Bronx, we are one of the strongest churches. We've continued to a very good average attendance, both in person and online platform, okay? Our average attendance at 650, when most churches are worshiping less than 50, many with 15 people, with 20 people only. Today is a little bit low day for us, maybe because of the change in hour, but we have been keeping a worship attendance of about 70 in average, counting some Sunday with 90s, with over 100 on special Sunday. So we are above the average when it comes to attendance, and at least every Sunday we have 60 people worshiping with us online. So I've seen many of you taking new jobs, like Ella, who not many times led a worship service, and now who can stop her talking? She is a great worship leader. She came out of a need. Yes. Some of you have been reading, some of you have been doing things. I can tell you that I ask God every day to put me in the zone of God's grace, that I can see what I may not see with my regular eyes, to see with the spiritual eyes. I have been seeing a movement of the Spirit, among us in the past few months. Yes. People coming to me, I would like to do this, Pastor. I want to do this. This can be done. The dancers equipped, willing, taking time of their busy time to do choreographies that enhance our service and elevate our service. I've seen people saying, I want to, I want to help in this. You may not be participant of those conversations, but I see that God's Spirit is moving. Some people have come back. I still expect some people to come back, but I think we have a good number of people ready to do something in the vineyard. So I come from a place of happiness, from a place of inspiration as your pastor, and I'm glad. The reality has affected us. We have been affected in numbers, in terms of leadership, in terms of ministries, in terms of new ministries that need to be designed. Those things have been changed. The fact that we need to think now in different ways. We don't have all the structure, the council, the administrative council that we used to have with all those people, somebody in charge of this, somebody in charge of that, and many committees serving. That we don't have that any longer, and that we will not have, because many of those people may never come back. So that is okay. That is okay that we don't have that large structure. So one of the things, I'm going to talk about two things today. One is I'm going to begin a conversation, and I'm going to explain to you. I brought a short PowerPoint presentation. If you can put the first slide. Yes, we need to the very first one, my dear, the very first one. go back to the very first one. I'm going to talk to you about the need of a simplified board structure, a model of leadership. Because, and this is something that is happening in all United Methodist churches, because almost every church has found themselves with less people to serve. We don't have all the leadership ready to take and to do. Second, people more and more, especially young people, are completely busy. So the old model of having a lot of people in endless meetings, in constant meetings, and people available is not working any longer. I want you to know we don't have people that have the time to come to meetings and then to do a lot of stuff. We have a lot of people that hold positions but don't have the time to do anything with the position, to function in the position that they have. So we really have been left out with only a few people that are carrying the work of the church. So all the churches are streamlining the administrative board. Next one. What is a simplified governance government model? What is a simplified way to govern ourselves? It is a streamlined model of leadership that seeks to increase mission and accountability as congregations strive to make disciples of Christ. Next one. Okay, this model moves churches from 4 administrative committees, trustees, finance, staff-party relations, and church council to 1 leadership board. Instead of having all those 4 administrative big groups, it's going to be one group, 1 leadership team with all responsibilities and authority of the previous 4 separate committees. This committee of stewards, as we call it, we can call ourselves the way we want to, would only meet once a month, freeing up people from endless meetings, and the 4 committee would still have chairs, but the administrative work is done by 1 committee so that no one person has power over every aspect of the church and has the burden of doing everything in the church. So this is what I'm proposing. I'm proposing that all those 4 committees, the administrative committee, combine into 1 body only. And we do the work that those bodies need to do. We do the work of the trustees. We do the work of the SPRC. We do the work of the finance. And we do the work of the council. So this small body will do all that work. Let me explain at the same time. The separate committees can continue working, but the decisions, the authority, the responsibility for the work of the church to take place will be in that small body. Will be in that small body and do all the administration. So there is this structure. You know, in the Methodist Church, we have to do everything by the discipline. We are in the discipline. Thank you. In the Methodist Church, we have to do everything by the discipline. So the discipline allows for that. Next slide. Well, the discipline allows for an alternative structure. So why I am asking you to consider this model? Because we need to think, is structure driving mission or if mission driving structure. And this is something that we need to, I think this is at the core of what sometimes becomes a problem in the church. Sometimes the structure, the organization, is the one that drives the mission. Like, if this committee doesn't do anything, doesn't do this, it doesn't get done. That everything has to go through all these committees to be approved, to be, we separate, we make a large structure to do the mission. It should be different. We should decide what is our mission, what is that we want to do, and then we organize ourselves to do that mission. You see the difference? That the structure doesn't weigh down, that the structure doesn't weigh down on us, that we put mission first, and then we organize ourselves and to say, okay, how are we going to do that mission? Mission goes first. So when we, in this matter, will be freeing people for ministry that now are not free, we create space, necessary space to adapt and to make changes because we have less people and less resources. And it will make us more effective, efficient, and accountable work. The truth is, right now, we are able to do things, but not everything is accountable. We begin some things, and at the end they go nowhere, and we cannot call nobody accountable. People do not attend meetings, or people cannot be present, or people, for some reason, cannot do what they were supposed to do. And there's nothing we can do about that because of the situation that we are in. So we need to do a difference in church ministry. So what I'm proposing is that we sit down. We have been, right now the leadership, some of you have been working with me. The trustees, members, committee have been working with me, have been working with members of the council. People have been talking to me. We have been having conversations right now. I have been talking to people back and forward. And what I see is that we need the leadership. We need to continue to working together in more efficient work, and something good have come from those conversations. We have started thinking about things. We have started, I'll tell you later, trying to make decisions of things that we need to do to solve problems. Already having conversations among different people have brought new ideas about solving problems in the church. So this new leadership model will bring together people, less people in a council, in order to plan out the work of the church for the future. And there will be three main important things that we are going to do. We are going to do planning for the whole year. We are going to see planning include goals. We are going to see that those plans or those goals are executed. And then we are going to call, beginning with the pastor, people accountable. So we are going to work on planning, execution, and accountability. Those are going to be the three things. What is that we are going to do this year? Second, who and how are we going to execute that plan? And third, how do we evaluate what we have done and call all of us accountable of the goals and the plan that we have set before us? So reports, sitting at a table and reading report. There's not going to be pastor's report. There's not going to be lay leader report. Nobody's going to be reporting. The pastor is going to have a set of goals, an action plan for the year. This is what the church wants me to do. I'm going to put that in in goals for the year, and then half of the year you sit, you evaluate what the pastor have done, what the pastor have not done, and then we continue, and at the end of the year, you know if the pastor has been effective or ineffective. Because if at the end of the year, the pastor have not done what the pastor is supposed to do, well, something happened. The same thing with the lay leader. The same thing with the SPRC committee, the SPRC responsibility. The same thing with the trustees. Everybody will have action goals, action plans, goals for the year, and we decide how long will those things need to be done. So that's in terms of administration, okay? Keep going. I'm not going to go through all of them, but okay, this is for those of you who need everything to be kosher by the discipline, including me. Paragraph 247.2 of the Book of the Discipline, 2016, allow us to do those changes. So we are not outside of the discipline. Keep going. I'm not going to read it. So the simplified board membership may look like, board chair or co-chairs, lay member to the annual conference, lay leader, SPR chair, trustee chair, finance chair, United Methodist women and men, a youth, and those positions can be combined. But it's going to be a smaller group, okay? And the point is accountable leadership and simplified board leadership model. Keep going. To fulfill our mission, which is make new disciples, make new disciples. That is our mission, to make new disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. Keep going. Mission-driven, before this one, yeah. Mission-driven with those making the decision being vested with responsibility and authority for the mission and vision of the church. Responsibility, authority, and accountability is safe and effective. Keep going. Okay, some leadership strength, what connects authority with accountability, promotes church unity, functions on a high level of trust. Mission and vision fulfilled as the driving force, not management or maintenance. Because, keep going. Okay. What happens is when we have less people dealing with the administration, we have more people for mission. Okay? It's not that we are going to forget the mission. The mission and ministry committees will continue, but they are not going to spend their time in sitting in committees and in managing and in giving report. No, they are going to do the work that they are supposed to do. You understand? We are organizing the administration in order to free people so people can engage in thinking and in new creative ways of doing ministry in the church. All right? The church in general, the annual conference is dealing with the same situation that we are dealing. It's dealing with less people, less leadership, and less resources. So this is, we all are sharing. Part of the way of the annual conference to deal that with the need of people is the creation of the Bronx Cooperative Parish. What is the Bronx Cooperative Parish? It's a body that represents all the churches in the Bronx. We are all part of this body called Bronx Cooperative Parish. What is this body supposed to do? This body is supposed to pick some leaders from each congregation to gather and to say, how can we do mission together? Let's say there is a need for food in a neighborhood. Well, but maybe that church doesn't have the people to engage the neighborhoods with the feeding ministry. Well, maybe people from Epworth or from other churches can be part of that ministry. In other words, the churches will not do ministry necessarily alone. They can call on other churches to help them out. Like we have a strong, well, it's getting stronger, after-school program and a good summer program. Well, maybe other churches can send their people here, and maybe we can hire some of their teachers. So we can serve all the churches with one after-school program instead of being alone with our own program here and other churches with no program because they cannot do it, because they don't have the leadership, the personnel, and the resources to do it. So there are many creative ways that we can work together. Another way that the conference have dealt with the lack of leadership and resources is combining churches and putting one pastor with two churches. Right now, since I came here, we have two pastors or maybe three pastors that have two churches. They were called by one church, but they had to combine churches because one of the churches could not afford the pastor or didn't have enough people. So the conference has done some cuts, not only in money, but also has expanded the work of the pastors, and have attached other congregations to pastors when churches cannot. So there have been so many changes since the pandemic in order to respond. So all the churches have been going through this. I believe that we at Epworth has the potential, the energy, the strength, and the commitment to continue to be a strong church in our neighborhood. That I believe, because of what you have told me, what I have seen in you, because of your commitment, because of your faithfulness, and because of the way that you continue to support the ministry of the church and to be involved in the ministry of the church. So on behalf of the leadership, I ask you to think about this, to give me your feedback, and to join and to be part and to rejoice in a new model of leadership, in a smaller model of leadership that is streamlined, that takes care of the administration, and free people for ministry, So that's all I'm going to say about that. But before we go into the second part, any questions that you have, this is a conversation that will continue. Will continue with me in the hall, with me in the office, with you calling me, with me after church services in the social hall, with the leadership. This is a conversation that we continue. I believe that the church is always in conversation, in prayerful conversation. But you need to know, if you need to think about it. If you buy into this, if you would like for the leadership of the church and myself, with all the leadership of these administrative bodies and myself, if you would like for us to take this and put flesh on it and talk to the district superintendent, who has to be part of the conversation, and then we'll have to have a church conference and vote for this new model. So I need to know if you buy into this. Because if you say, no, we don't want to change the way that we are organized, we want to continue with the same structure and all those, with all those people in positions and all those reports, if you want to continue like that, that is a decision that you as a church has to do. But me, my role here as a pastor is to help you to think, to give you a vision of a way that things can be made better. And I am here, and Pastor Hayes is here to facilitate that vision. We will train you, we will support you, we will talk to you over and over, over and over, so you feel comfortable about the role that you will be playing, But I cannot do it. This is not something that comes from just the leadership and myself. This is something that you have to buy into, that you have to say, yes, we want to streamline, we want to have a smaller leadership team, we want to work that way, we want to work with goals, action plans, and accountability and evaluation. We want to know every year. That's what we want to do. And and then if you want to do that, we will vote on it and we will organize for it, okay? So today that conversation begins. Any question that you cannot stop, that you need to bring to me? Yes. That's a good question. That administrative body, it doesn't mean that they are the only ones working. They are the ones that setting the goal, the responsibilities. They are the ones who do the budget, who say, these are the ministries, this is the budget allowed. They are the ones who does that. And they are the ones that will schedule fundraisers. But they are also supposed to recruit people to do those fundraisers. Yes. Okay? But the fundraisers activities would come from that administrative board. Yes. Because they are the ones who knows how much money is needed for whatever. Yeah. That's a good question. Yes. Any other question? Right up your head. I know you need to think about it and all that, but this is what the leadership is proposing, okay? Yes, the budget will come from that body instead of the finance committee alone. Yes, the body will be discussed in this small group, because the body has to tell a story, like we heard this week. The body cannot be just money, putting money here. No, the body has to tell the story about what Epworth ministry is about. So that committee will discuss the activities and the ministry that we will do, and that committee needs to attach resources and money to those ministry activities as well. Yes, it cannot come from one mind of one person only. This is the money that we need to pay this and this. No, it has to be a full picture of what Epworth Church is about. Any other question? You can ask me, and you can, yeah. So the other part of today's conversation, you should have with you a copy of the church budget. You have a copy? You should have a copy of the church budget, not of the 2023, but 2022 with you. You should have that copy, okay? According to that budget, it takes okay. I think, do I have, is it, it should be two-sided copy. Okay. Can I have, yeah, okay. It should be a two-sided copy. Do we have more copies of the budget here? Yeah, but it has to be two-sided. Do we have more copies? in the back? Did we finish them all? Can I have two more copies of the? One more, yeah. Or two more. On both sides. Yeah. Okay, you should have a copy of the budget that has two sides. One side, it tells the income, and it tells that the church took in everything $302,000 and expended at the end of the year $338,000. So as of right now, we've been carrying a deficit of $35,607, okay? And that is because there are many factors, but one is because even though many people that are not, many of our members that are not here continue to send their tithes, and many, you have a very faithful membership. Many have disappeared not only in person, but have disappeared also in their support of the church. So after the pandemic, so monies have gone down there. And also because the other reason, in my view, is because even though we have open giving with sale, and people can give sale, we haven't opened other avenues. For instance, that people can give money instantly when they deposit money into accounts, when they watch our program online, which is something that can be done. There are many new ways of giving money instantly, virtually, that we don't have those technologies in place yet. Other churches do. Last Wednesday, I was at Butler. We were at the Butler Lent service, and in the program, they highlighted several ways that people can give money to the church online. So the more ways you have, the more money you will receive. But if you only have people giving money in one way or two ways, well, you are missing the opportunity for visitors, for just bloggers, people that that say, oh, I want to make a contribution to Epworth. So, when you open technologies, you also open the channel for more contributions. I don't think that, I think that we've overcome, and the third reason is because we have not had many fundraisers after the pandemic. We didn't have a trip, or those trips that you used to do. We didn't have, huge banquets. We stopped doing a lot of fundraisers. Well, because we don't have the people to do them, to plan them. We don't have, you cannot only have the ushers doing fundraisers. You need more people, different people at different times, doing a lot of fundraisers. So I think that if we get more people to do fundraisers and more participation and better planning and goals, $35,000 will be nothing, will be easily overcome, okay? But I want you to know, I want the church to know that we are running a deficit as of yesterday, okay? As of yesterday. And I would like to hear from you, either in person or to let our leadership know, if you have any ideas, any creative ideas, how we can increase resources in our church. So that I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it. Okay, any question about this part? Okay, and the other budget that you have with you is the 1112 Grant Avenue building. You know, this church owns a building that was gifted to the church many years ago. How many years, Mr. Fleming? About 100 years, yeah. Yeah, for 30 or 40 years. And they have, the trustees have done a wonderful job for us to keep the building. But the pandemic hit and affected the dwellers, the renters. So many people are in arrears. Many people are not paying the rent. And we have apartment vacant. But if you don't pay the rent, how can we pay the bills? How can we pay the oil? How can we pay the electricity? And how can we fix the apartments, the empty apartments, so somebody can move it when we are not making any money, any extra money? Every money goes back into the same building because people are not paying the rent. So we, well, sell the building. Sell the building can be considered, but you cannot sell a building like that. No, it has to be fixed. If you want to get the money, you have to do a study. You know, who's gonna carry our deficit? So, you know, you don't get rid of a building like you get rid of a broken stove. Yeah, you know, just like that. So I invite you to think about this. I invite you to think about it, and to help us. How can we? You have all the payment here to fix this problem. One of the things that we are going to do, because Marcela has been working. You have anything that you want to mention to us? All right, but yeah. So I'm going to open for questions. But Marcela has been a faithful. Mr. Fleming and the trustees have been faithful leaders of the building. They are carrying this responsibility. And I said to them, and I said to Marcela, the church needs to know these things. Because no one person in this church to be losing sleep about the church situation. We should all be losing sleep together. We should all know what's going on, because we are all part of Epworth. So it's not fair that one person is trying to do everything and we don't even know about it or are not doing anything about it. Marcela has been working as the treasurer of the trustees. She asked to be relieved, even though she continues to advise and to oversee the transition. But I'm nominating Lauren to be the new finance chair. And something that we have been talking about is to, how do you say, electronicize, or how do you call when you put everything in system? To digitize. We need to digitize our finances. We need to put everything in computer, in financial system. So honestly, at the click of the button, if I say now, Lauren, can I know how much money came for offerings or tithes in January? She will click a button. The financial system will put it together, and she will give me a page only with what I asked for, not with everything. So that's a financial system. And that will help us to work together. So we are going to be doing that with the help with Anita and Marva, those who have been doing the finances and know finances. So they are going to be, we're going to be working with consultants and other people and Lauren to digitize our finances to make the work and open the opportunity to give people the opportunity to do offering in different ways. All right, any questions about the finances, about these two, the church or the building? Yes. I'll be ready for suggestions beginning now. Yes. Yeah, we will take all suggestions. I will listen to you. So if you have something to say, you have to say it. Because if what I hear is that you buy into this new leadership model, we will continue training and talking about it, but we will vote on it as a church. If you don't like it, let's have a conversation. I don't want it because of this. I'll receive that for you, and I'm going to have a list, and I'm going to see where the congregation is in regard to a streamlined model, okay? And also anything about finances, ideas, we will receive. You can talk to me. You can talk to Mr. Fleming. You can talk to Alana. You can talk to Lauren. You can talk to Stephanie. You can talk to us. You can talk to Anita. You can talk to Marcela. You can talk to Elaine. Let us know what is your thinking, so you know what is the thinking of the church. Let your voice be known. Let your voice be known to us. Yes, Vanessa. Okay, let me explain. Vanessa is asking a good question. She's asking how people are going to continue giving to the church. Nothing has changed. You continue giving in your new way. What we will do, maybe we'll open other ways for other people, that the people that watch our services on YouTube, other ways to give us money. What is going to be digitized is not the way that we give money. What is going to, well, for some people it will be, but what is going to be digitized is the finance, the finance records and system, exactly. So everything is in a computer, like in a cloud. That everything is there, and you can access. We can access that information every time that we meet, like this. Okay? So, but we continue giving in the way you give. Maybe we will open the way that you can just take a picture and the money will come into. Because let me tell you, I still use checks, and many of us use checks, but many people don't use checks any longer. Many people, who doesn't use check here? Yeah, who doesn't use check? You don't use check, you know? You pay in a different way. Well, the church should have a way that you can give us money without using a check, you know? In an easier way. Because you may go you may not be here, but you still want to give. So you may not be able to give the check in person, but wherever you are, you may be able to give a donation to the church as well. So those are the things that we are thinking about it. Also, the leadership is thinking about contracting with a management property to manage building 1112. That's another idea. So we are all talking and trying to figure out better ways to organize ourselves so we can be more free to do ministry. Any other question? I think I've been talking too much. Okay. Do you want, Reverend Hayes, you want to give like a context of where we are, because yeah, where the conference is, and also you know about where the conference is. So about that, and also you are a PhD in administration and all that. So anything that you think that I have left out that might help us to continue in the thinking. I'm sorry, I'm taking you, calling you on the spot. I didn't tell him that he was gonna, but if you can offer. Reverend Hayes was for many years the chair of parish development funds. So he knows about monies in the conference. He knows opportunities, that the things that are available to us. Plus, he himself have a degree in administration. Yeah.
He also has a kid who has to be in the first
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He has a gala tomorrow. He's going to be singing.
Ooh. Isa is, sorry, I didn't introduce. Isa is Reverend Hayes' son. He's a scholar in his own merit. He's a writer, and he's also an artist. So he's going to be singing at Lincoln Center today. Tomorrow. He had already sang there.
Every year.
Oh, okay. So just briefly, yeah.
Sure. So here's what's happening not only here but around the country. So as Bishop would say that the conference is running anywhere between 40 to 50 pastor elder meetings. So all over the conference we're being pushed on how to best resource our ministry. But the issue though is that ministry is not shrinking. We're shrinking. And so we have to figure out whether to creatively connect better with the ministry. And what we may have to do, I think all the churches have to do, is be really focus on what we're going to do, recognizing that we can't be all things in all communities. But we can be very impactful. We're strategic about the things that we want to do and commit those particular resources. So we did exactly the same type of structure when I was in Metropolitan. I pastored the Metropolitan community for 12 years, and we had to go through a similar structure. One, for efficiency, but two, we also just had a shortage of resources. And so I think this plan does give you the ability to stay agile, to be focused, to best utilize the resources that you currently have. It's also going to be important to really get a sense of where can you have the biggest impact. And maybe the biggest impact is going to continue to be at youth ministry. Maybe it's in food justice. Maybe it's in trying to be an advocate for those who live right around the corner from our legal system. And maybe the strongest advocate may be advocacy. Right? But I think it's going to be important to say, okay, these are the resources you have, these are the gifts and graces you have, this is where we can make the biggest impact, and then think about that from an implementing resource perspective. So I appreciate the fact that you're having these conversations. We had those conversations in Metropolitan. Harlem is really challenged these days. If you visit any of our Harlem churches, I think we had to shutter saying anybody remember Sears? And that's what it is now, right? You remember it.
Yes.
Because Sears is gone. And the building is actually no longer named the Sears Tower. Sears had left the building for years. They just still had the corporate rights because Sears refused to change. And they just kept saying, well, we're Sears. People will always come to Sears because we're Sears. So people stopped going to Sears to get their appliances. They started going to Home Depot. And they stopped going to Sears to get clothes. They started going to Old Navy. And they stopped going to Sears to get jewelry. They started going to Epworth, a whole bunch of places. And Sears refused to acknowledge that they were in a changing world. They needed to restate it. And they just kept saying, well, we are Sears. And the church keeps saying, well, it's Sunday, people are going to come to church. Or the way we used to do things is going to always work. I just remind you, anytime you want to keep thinking that way, just see where you can find your ministry.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. My last thing I'm going to say, some wise person remind me that if we continue to do things the same way we've been doing, we will obtain the same results. If we want to obtain different results, we need to change the way we do things. You get it? You cannot expect different results doing things the same way. So I send you with that peace and love. With these thoughts in your heart, God is with us. I believe that God is with us. We have it in us to move forward. I want for you to pray, to continue praying, to continue meditating, to continue talking until God takes us where God wants us to take. Go in peace and serve the Lord. Amen. Thank you. Have a good day.